Join us tonight for our Village of Alsip committee meeting tonight. Today is January 25th, 2021. We'll call this meeting order at 7:30 p.m. You call the roll, please?
Yes. Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zielinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez was going to try to join via Zoom. She's currently absent. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Murphy has joined via Zoom. Trustee Navasparza? Here. Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, officers' reports, starting with mine. Not much of a report, but maybe many of you may have seen the news that came out today, just a little anticipated obstruction. Give me 1 second here. This might be Trustee Juarez.
I was just telling her to try to call it again.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Obviously a nuisance, but something that goes on every 17 years. I wanted to just make this brief. In Illinois, if your goal in 2021 is to be loud about what you want, you'll have some competition from the occasional visitors to Illinois. Prepare to say hello to the whole lot of what's called Brood X, or Great Eastern Brood cicadas this year. They only emerge from the ground in large numbers every 17 years, and they make a big impression when they do. If you thought the annual cicadas that serenade you on summer nights were loud and prolific, that's nothing compared to what's headed to eastern Illinois this May, give or take a few weeks. Count on billions of periodical cicadas tuning up the mid-Atlantic and Midwestern states. These are two species of periodical cicadas. The 17-year cicadas found in northern states and the 13-year cicadas found in southern. This is either wonderful or terrible. Basically, it's terrible because these cicadas all tune up at once, because the survival of these species depends on hooking up. You may want to be anywhere but here, especially if we're all still isolating because of coronavirus. If just thinking about what it takes to come, if just thinking about what it takes to come makes your ears ring, it may be a good time to book a trip out west. How loud are they? They say the collective song, the male cicadas calling for mates, can reach up to 100 decibels. Think of a Harley-Davidson motorcycle with straight pipes constantly running outside your window. The male cicadas are the ones making all the noise. Basically, they just said newly adult cicadas are in a rush to mate because they don't live very long. After that, maybe 3 or 4 weeks. The females don't have what's known as thimbles and can't produce the same sounds. They wait quietly to do their job, perpetuating the species, which is to lay eggs, as many eggs as possible, up to 600 over their short lifetime. And basically after mating, the females will split the bark on living tree trunks, branches and twigs, burrow in, and lay between 24 and 48 eggs at a time. Of course, scientifically, it's significantly more complicated than that, but the scientific rabbit hole, so perhaps it's a best just to see. It's as a sign of rebirth for 2021. Like I say, and nowhere on the planet do you see this repeated, but we're in for a real dose of bugs all throughout the springtime yet too. So something to look forward to in 2021 if we haven't enough situations in our own life already. And that's all I want to report this evening, because I know the weather's getting bad and no point in dragging out a meeting with unnecessary information. So
Too late.
yeah, too late. So next, we have the clerk's report.
1 moment, Mayor Ryan. Trustee Juarez is trying to call in. Oh, she just said she's in. She's in? Great.
Okay.
Trustee Juarez, could you please announce yourself?
This is Trustee Juarez. Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you very much. Trustee Juarez joined at 7:36 p.m. Thank you, Mayor Ryan. Under the clerk's report, we have the presentation of the December 2020 IDOT motor fuel tax allotment in the amount of $63,992.30. Numbers 2, 3, and 4 are all approval of minutes that had been previously presented but hadn't been voted on. The first one is the approval of the minutes of May 28th, 2019. The second is the approval of the minutes of the June 10th, 2019. And the third one is the approval of the minutes of June 24th, 2019. We do have presentation of 3 minutes for reviews that will be voted on next week. Presentation of the minutes of March 9th, 2020. Presentation of the minutes of the March 30th, 2020. Both of those are committee meetings. And then presentation of the minutes from the January 11th, 2021 committee meeting, which was just a couple weeks ago. I do also have an update information as far as early voting is concerned that came in today. We would have been extended the invitation, if that's how you'd like to put it, to have early voting officially. The hours will be from 9 to 5 the first Monday through Saturday and 10 to 4 the first Sunday, so that's the week of March 22nd through Sunday the 28th. The second week is, again, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday and Saturday. Sunday, again, is 10 to 4, and the final Monday is 9 to 5, so we are not having extended hours. Trustee McLaughlin, I know you had that concern. And the early voting supervisor would like our response within a week to turn in the location, et cetera. I know there was some discussion last week about where and when and how. I know Mr. Early had mentioned having it here and having the folks come in the east doors. I am of the opinion that we should leave it the way it's been, have it here, have them come in the normal door and walk through the building. We have not had any issues with staff having any concerns about it. On the clerk side, my concern about having them come in the east door is we're going to have people parking in the normal parking lot coming in, and we're going to have to tell them, no, you have to go out and move your car around, park on the east side of the building, and then come in. I think it may.
So the east door doesn't work anyway. It's not handicapped accessible.
And my other concern would be if we have snow and we plow and then somebody's got to climb over the snow. So that is my thought on the early voting location.
I've been pretty vocal about having it here, and now that under Restore Illinois guidelines we're in Tier 1, we're allowed to have in-person gatherings of 10 people or less, and I think there was a concern about what tier we were in, but now we're in I guess a more a tier that allows us to do in-person dining now at restaurants and so forth, so I think here would be the best choice.
Okay, so last week we did approve having, hosting early voting. Obviously, we left it to be determined as far as location was concerned. Mm-hmm. And I've always, as Trustee Warris, I'm always a proponent of not changing things too much that folks are used to doing. And,
Right.
Historically, the community has always voted here early, and I didn't hear of any other taxing body volunteering to host the same.
Correct.
So
I'm just looking for a consensus to say, yes, we will have it here at Village Hall as normal, so I can complete the documentation and send it back so we get on the list and it's queued up on the website for early voting.
So unless someone else had a support of another taxing body to do that, it would be my recommendation to take a consensus vote this evening to have it here, and go from there, because you got to respond, right?
Correct.
Right.
Okay, so this is just a consensus to hold early voting at Village Hall. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zielinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez, did you hear we are?
Yes.
Okay, and your opinion is?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee McLaughlin.
No.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee Navas-Barza.
Yes.
And just for clarification, Trustee Juarez and Trustee Murphy did voice their opinion via Zoom. So we have a majority. Thank you very much, everyone.
Police Chief made a good point, Chief Miller, last time that we did have some issues with electioneers encroaching the doorway, Chief, so we'll just make sure we put up some signage to remind them that that's not going to happen this time around and stuff, and to make sure they, I don't care if we have to put up a couple of cones as reminders outside, please don't pass this spot and all that kind of thing then too, okay? So we'll certainly take care of that, or we'll ask the Cook County Clerk to observe the same and stuff then too, so, okay. I agree with you on that, when it's bad enough we're dealing with, potential virus and stuff, but then to jam up the doorway because everybody's getting cold outside is not our problem. The electioneer, if you want to do that, that's up to you, but you're going to stand outside away from our doorway and stuff then too, so. That's all you had, Clerk?
Correct.
Okay.
I
So-
have one thing, though. Madam Clerk, can we please get a cleaner copy of the May 28th minutes?
I
The
thought they
information
had-
that's in the packet, no, it's like there's big chunks missing.
Okay,
It
I
didn't
had asked
scan
them to
properly.
rescan it. Yes, I will have it emailed to you.
So at this time then, can I ask someone make a motion, a second, to approve number 2, 3, and 4? Those are committee meeting minutes that were presented, and they're asking for approval this evening for those 3 committee meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Can I ask that we hold off on May 28th since there are large chunks of them missing from the packet?
Okay. Trustee, actually, Trustee Murphy called me today about the same thing. I did go back and I looked online, and even though we didn't officially approve them, that we're going back now because these weren't officially approved, they do come out correctly online. It's the way they were copied. And that's why, in other words, you're taking a legal piece of paper and it's scanned 11, 8.5 by 11. So, well, if that's
Like I said, I'm just looking at, what was provided to us in the packet. And, and this is even the one on the computer, so it
Okay.
wasn't just the one via email, and there's just large chunks missing.
we can certainly bring that one back up on next Monday and stuff then too. Well, then, how about 3 and 4? Can we take care of a couple of these?
Amend the motion for 2, 3, and 4.
4, 3, and 4, correct. Trustee Delzell?
Yes.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve items number 3, approval of minutes of the June 10th, 2019 committee meeting, which had been previously presented for approval on December 30th, 2019, and number 4, approval of minutes of the June 24th, 2019 committee meeting, which had been previously presented on December 30th, 2019. Trustee Delzell?
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez, approval, yes or no, for items number 3 and 4 under the clerk's report, please?
Yes.
Thank you. Trustee McLaughlin?
Yes.
Trustee Murphy, approval, yes or no, please, for items number 3 or 4 under the clerk's report?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm probably getting every third word here. Am I understanding that this is for 3 and 4?
Correct.
Then my vote is yes.
Thank you, Trustee Murphy. Trustee Navis-Farza?
Yes.
Thank you. And that is all, Mayor Ryan.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have public forum. Anyone in the audience wish to address the board on anything this evening? All right, nobody? Then we'll move on with the standing committee reports. Finance and IT, Trustee McLaughlin.
I will have the usual list of payroll and accounts payable for approval next week. And just so everybody's aware, budget season will be starting very soon. Some of the department heads are already working on their budgets, and we'll be probably looking to start meetings late February. Is that right, Joyce? Okay. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Fire Committee, Trustee Murphy.
I have a discussion to amend Village Ordinance Chapter 9, Section 3, Section 9 through 37, Paragraph 903.2.8.2. I trust the Chief is with us.
Yes. Go ahead, Chief.
Great, Trustee.
All right, thanks.
Zelinski.
All right, thanks, Trustee. So in our code and ordinances, we address
Tire storage in buildings that are sprinklered buildings, there is no ordinance or there's no provisions for tire storage that are in unsprinkled buildings, and this has been an issue for the last couple of years I've been trying to work on. So between my fire prevention officer, our fire consultant, and also discussions with Roger, we wanted to come up with a uniform amount of tires that businesses can store in that are within acceptable levels. So what we came up with was any business or building that is less than 1,500 square feet, they'll be allowed to store up to 10 tires on tread. They cannot stack them because it increases the fire load and for rapid expansion. Any building or business 1,500 or 1 feet and above, square feet and above, would be allowed up to 20 tires stored on tread. With the discussion with the fire prevention consultant, like I said, that's what they determined to be the safe amount of tires. We do have quite a bit of car repair businesses in town that do have tire storage, so we've always gone back and forth, and we're trying to set something in place before we begin annual inspections again, which start on February 1st.
Chief, for somebody that's been here operating a business, though, for us now to come in and change the rules.
We're not changing. We've always allowed it, but there's always been confusion with the inspectors going in there. We've been going back and forth. So we're not changing anything that we haven't done. We just want it codified in our village ordinance. Say this is it, because you go back and we don't have to allow any tire storage in unsprinkler buildings.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have something in place now that we have a definitive answer what the limit is based on the square footage of the business or the building.
So we don't have a codified ordinance for it right now?
Correct, only for sprinkler buildings. In sprinkler buildings, the sprinkler system has to be rated for that tire storage. Like a couple of the newer businesses that we have quite a bit of tire storage, and they are designed for that.
What's the current, is there a per square foot thing right now, too?
No, with sprinkler buildings, the
you're
sprinkler
good.
system has to be designed for the amount of tires that are being stored.
Yeah, I think the old language, especially where it just says bulk storage.
Right,
Bulk
it's
can
too...
totally be, I mean, I
Yes.
might think of bulk as being 100, somebody else might think of it as 10.
Exactly. So we've always gone back and forth. So we want something that's standardized all the way across the board for our inspectors when they go in there.
So a typical, I'm just doing a hypothetical, if a typical shop, just so a lot of people understand what you're saying, might be 2,000, 2,500 square foot to get a couple of cars in their shop.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be good for up to 20 tires stored in there, because you're over the
Correct.
1,500 mark.
Correct.
But if he's there now, are we going to mandate that he's got to put in a sprinkler system?
No, what we do is we let them know that they can only store X amount of tires, and whatever's extra or whatever's over that, they have to figure out where else to put it, not inside the building. So one of the options is they can buy a metal seaway container and keep a storage outside or some type of shed outside, anything but inside the building.
Gotcha. Any questions for the chief? Can I ask you, Chief, any comparables? Any other communities have a rule like this, some we can kind of look at that other folks have done?
Most of them don't allow any storage in any unsprinkler buildings.
Yeah.
Chief, is there any buildings outside that compliance as of now?
Every year there is. When our guys go in, they have to tell them they can only have X amount of tires that are in there. And they have 30 days to remove the excess tires, otherwise they're usually fined. And it's the same ones every year. They know it every year. We go through this every year, and it's a big game we play with them. So now it's in the ordinance. Now they can't fight us on it.
Thanks.
It just seems kind of quick because we're going to pass an ordinance like this with the inspections just starting. And I can appreciate the chief's position where some of the people may have had previous notice of this, but other people who don't have previous notice. And then we're going to...
Every business that we go through now has been told the same thing, so it's not new for any of them, unless they just happen to be moving in before February 1st. We're not doing anything differently than we've done in the past. We just want it codified, so at least we have teeth now, especially for the repeat offenders that we go through every year. and it's always the same people.
How many are those same people?
Probably at least, what do you think, Roger, about 10?
At least 5 to 7.
Yeah, same ones every year.
Is this ordinance going to be comparable to any other village or town's ordinances?
I don't know what other towns have. Like I said, we reached out to our fire consultant to get a good amount of what would be considered a safe amount of tires in there because, again, the flammability of tires.
And this is only stored tires, this isn't tires on vehicles?
No, stored tires only, that's it.
Typically, you would have to have a sprinkler building in order to store tires. We're allowing them at this point to do it.
Right.
It should not be at all. It should be a sprinkler building.
All right, thank you, Chief.
The other thing I do have, and I'll send this out tomorrow, is, and it just came last Friday, is we're one of 250 departments, fire departments across the nation to participate in the second phase of the National Fire Protection Association's Community Risk Reduction Pilot Program. So we submitted an application to be part of the nationwide program, so we're in the second phase. So I'll send a copy of the press release out tomorrow to everybody.
Very good. All right, thank you. Anything else? Anything else, Trustee Murphy?
That's all I have, sir.
Okay. Police and Traffic Safety, Trustee Dalzell.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Public Work and Boat Launch, Trustee Juarez.
I have a request to receive bids at the February 15, 2021 Village Board meeting for the 2021 manhole rehabilitation located within the David Estate area, which has been established as the village's inflow and infiltration high priority area. The manhole repair contract will continue the village efforts to comply with the MWRD mandate to reduce inflow and infiltration throughout the village. That's all, Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on that? Okay. Sewer and Water, Trustee Navas Barza.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Building and Health, Trustee Zelinski.
No report, Mayor.
Human Resource and Insurance, Trustee Murphy.
I have request for approval to advertise for request for proposal to renew 5 insurance policies effective May 1st, 2021 through April 31st, 2022.
There's
For
31
number
days in
1,
April next year?
liability, number 2, automobile, number 3, primary excess liability, number 4, secondary excess liability, number 5, workman's compensation. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you.
The correct date should be April 30th, 2022.
Like a leap year.
No problem. Any questions for Trustee Murphy on that?
That's to give the cicadas more time.
All right, thank you.
All right, I missed that. What's so funny?
You got to be here. Next, we have Special Committee Reports, Economic Development, Trustee Navas Barzo.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Village Properties, Trustee McLaughlin.
No report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. Ordinance and Legislation, Trustee Zelinski.
No report, Mayor.
Planning and Zoning and Licenses, Trustee Juarez.
I have a presentation by Devon Cotney and regarding the crematory for the property located at 12600 South Holiday Drive, Alsip, Illinois, 60803. The Planning and Zoning Commission held a hearing on January 6, 2021, and denied the request for another location at 11615 South Austin. Now, I just wanted to say that this information was shared on Facebook for the crematory coming to Alsip, and it brought a lot of negative comments from the residents. They are really against the business coming here to the village. And just to name a few of their concerns, they were concerned of the waterways going into the municipal drain system, the emissions and particulate are not completely eliminated. And one other thing we talked about is how this business can benefit the village at all. And so I don't know, I had Erica send out the court report minutes on January 20th from the planning and zoning. I hope everybody had a chance to read it. So moving forward, do we want to, I was actually looking for a consensus to find out if we wanted to overturn the recommendation or not, and how do we want to move forward with it?
Well, we've got three representatives here from the organization in the room, and I think they'd like to address the board. That's why it's on the agenda. And I had some bad information that I confirmed with Mr. Cotton before the meeting, that the 12600 was something they were looking at, but they are reconsidering as the same property that was considered at the hearing. So, gentlemen, if somebody wants to speak to it, you want to come up, or there's a mic here for you?
Good evening, everyone.
Sure. I need you to talk into a mic, because we record these. You can pick it up or sit there if you wish. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone.
Would you introduce yourself, please? I'm sorry.
My name is Devlin Cotton with Legacy Cremations. Based on the hearing that we had with zoning, we'd like to ask for a motion to overturn the denial based on the mitigations that we have in place with the owner of the property that's here now. As far as the parking, we did eradicate the water cremation from our business transactions. Initially, education was given to the trustees just based on the educational format that this process is allowed and legal in Illinois, but we won't be doing that type of business. So no wastewater or anything like that will be, contaminated or anything like that, but it won't. So we removed that. So I'd like the owner to address the board about the mitigations we have about the property and as far as the parking is concerned.
Sure. Good, sir. You can lift that up if you wish. It's not stuck there yet.
It's fine, as long as everyone
Sorry
can hear me.
about that.
My name's John Shoemake. I'm with Rudzilla Properties. We are the landlord for the property. Just here to address the parking issues as far as maybe some concerns that there is not enough parking. There's a diagram that kind of assigns parking spots to every unit. So, previously that particular unit was used as a warehouse for us. So we did not use the parking that we were designated. Other tenants were using it there. But he does have spots assigned to him, and going forward, other tenants would not use those spots. So, he has the same amount of spots as most of the other units there, as he's the same size as them or equivalent. So
thanks, John. I appreciate that. So, Devlin, let me ask you, Eric. Actually, Trustee Wars, were you at the hearing?
No, I had the court reporter minutes
Okay.
sent out to the board.
Okay. Okay.
I was at the meeting, Mayor.
Okay.
And there was also a letter from a resident read into the record going against this as well.
Okay.
And, the general overtone of the commissioners was not to accept this.
And what was the reason?
There was a number of reasons. The parking was just the one. It was about the emissions, the particulate amount that was still that was going to become atmospheric. They were saying different things, possible smells and stuff going toward, because the wind usually comes out of the southwest there, and it's all coming toward the neighborhood directly east of where they planned on doing this. There was a couple of other residents in the audience as well. Just it was generally not wanting to be accepted.
Okay. So, Mr. Cotton, based on what they're saying too, then, so as long as, like I said, I apologize too. I was telling you before the meeting, I was told through my assistant, I thought you were looking at different parcels. That's how that address got on there. So I can appreciate you're still looking at the same. Actually, somebody did tell me the following day after the hearing that they went over and looked at the parcel, and I can appreciate Mr. Shoemake making arrangements to make more of it parking available, because that was an issue for one or two of the commissioners and stuff then too. So as long as that's been addressed. So with
Economic plus
hello?
village, and there isn't any sales or service tax, correct?
You know what, trustee, I didn't understand any of that. I was talking, give me 1 second, let me just finish what I was saying. So, what I was saying, Mr. Khan, is if you're gonna still focus on the same property, and certainly I understand your request, is you're asking the board if they would be willing to overturn the recommendation of the commission.
Or grant,
Yeah.
pursuing another location.
The only thing, well, if you were to pursue another location, obviously you got to go through another plan and zoning hearing to do something like that. If you're really just fixed on that same location on Austin Street, the only thing I can do is ask the board next week under a board scenario. I can't do it in a committee setting, but I can ask the board if they're willing to do something like that. That would be the question. Okay. You can't vote on anything at a committee meeting, but I certainly understand your concerns and stuff then too. If for any reason the board did not wish to overturn the opinion of the commission, then I would say if you still wish to have something in our community, it would have to still, like I told you before the meeting, it would still have to go through the Planning and Zoning Commission to be heard, okay, because you're looking at a different property then too. We're just focusing on one property at a time, whichever one you're interested in, but I can put that question, or actually Trustee Juarez can put that, it's her committee, she can put that question to the board at next week's board meeting. Okay.
Well, Mayor, one of the things that Trustee Juarez was trying to let you guys know is that there was no economic advantage to the village for this business to be in town as well. That was one of the other things that was brought up at the Planning and Zoning Commission.
Do we have any other such businesses that don't pose an economic
I don't know.
property tax?
I'm just telling you, relating the message, this is what was said at the Planning and Zoning Commission meeting.
Well,
I can make out kind of what you guys are saying, but also I said that there isn't any sales or service tax, correct?
Yes.
there is?
There's sales and use tax.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that either. Okay. What, can you elaborate on that?
Well, from the suppliers, from when we make a sale inside the town, or from the material that we sell, there is a sales and use tax that's applied to, and we have to pay the state or pay the village, or however it goes to, however they chop it up.
All right. And then Trustee Juarez, you got to get in your phone a little bit. It's kind of hard to hear, but if what were you referring to is not a benefit to the community? To the village, I should say.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
What were you referring to as not being a benefit to the village?
What's the financial benefit? There's no tax on cremation. No taxes.
And there's no sales tax on the cremation, is what you're saying?
There's tax on the products involved in cremation.
On the products,
Yes.
right.
The service, yes.
Right, okay. So certainly, you're entitled to, as you are, to ask the board if they would reconsider. I mean, we've had that come up here many a times over the years and stuff then too. And just, I don't know, I couldn't tell you offhand how many times that's happened, but that's why we have a commission to kind of filter these things for us then too. Like many communities do the same thing. Trustee Juarez, would you be willing to place this item on the agenda next week for the board to reconsider this item? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah. Did you? Would?
It's my recommendation. Sorry, I'm hearing every other word. I'm trying to make it out. It's my recommendation here, Mayor, to deny the use of the special permit for the crematorium.
Well, that would certainly be a vote that you could take, but the petitioner still has the right to ask the board that same question in a board setting, which is why I was deferring to you as the chair of that committee. Would you be willing to place that on your agenda next week for consideration? No?
She said yes, sir.
She said yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing that right. Okay. All right, well, thank you very much. All right, so, Mr. Cotton, I guess, like I said, I'm taking it as far as I'm able. It's still a board decision if they wish to overturn that then, too, okay? But, we'll...
Could you sign in for the log, please, Mr. Cotton?
Yes.
I had one question, Mayor, if I may ask.
Sure, go ahead.
Just to clarify, since I wasn't at the Planning and Commission meeting, and just looking over the one page that we received, correct? It was a one-page document with the meeting minutes for the Planning Commission hearing?
No, the whole transcript is in the packet.
Okay.
There's like 20 pages in there.
Because I'm only looking at one. So then, based on what was discussed, it seems that the issue was just the water cremation component, which you're saying that you're willing to eliminate.
Yes.
Okay. And what was the concern with the water cremation that was brought up?
Well, the village or the individuals didn't have enough information, and then liked the fact that we were putting water, which is sterilized water, into the wastewater drains. So they were not understanding the technology.
Okay. So,
which is legal in Illinois. So.
but you're proposing to eliminate that?
Yes.
Okay.
And just do traditional practices.
Okay. Thank you for clarifying.
Mr. Cotton, thank you very much, and I appreciate you bringing this back to us, and more so, that you want to bring your business to our community. There's a lot of businesses in our community that don't necessarily generate sales tax and stuff then, too, but obviously, I don't know if there's anybody in this room that doesn't know somebody that's been cremated, and certainly for your request is a fair request. So we'll see how the board feels about it next week, and Trustee Juarez said she'll put that on our agenda for next week then, okay?
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks much, guys. Okay, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I have number 2, presentation of a list of licenses dated January 11th, 2021 through January 21st, 2021. That's all, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Anyone have any petitions, presentations, or communications? Okay. How about any unfinished business? Any new business? Then can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. Then we'll adjourn this meeting at 8:10 p.m. And again, thank you for coming out in this cold weather tonight. Everybody be safe. Get home safe.
We got to do the other one?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. We got
We have a special board meeting now.
Yeah, we have a special board meeting that we need to do. This will take just a moment. We have one item. So we'll, well, is everybody still seated here? Okay. We'll finish this up. As a prerequisite to all meetings to bring us to order. Thank you for joining us for our special Village Board of Trustees meeting tonight. Today is January 25th, 2021. Immediately, obviously, this meeting immediately followed our committee meeting. Can we take the roll call, please?
Yes, you're calling this to order at 8:11, Mayor.
Yep.
Trustee Dalzell?
Here.
Trustee Zelinski?
Here.
Trustee Juarez?
Here.
Trustee Juarez joined via Zoom. Trustee McLaughlin?
Here.
Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Thank you, Trustee Murphy, joined via Zoom. Trustee Navis-Barza?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. I'm going to waive the Pledge of Allegiance. We did so to start our committee meeting about 40 minutes ago. Public forum, did anyone in the audience have any questions on tonight's meeting? Or anything for that matter? None? And we'll go to the standing committee report. Trustee Murphy, go ahead for the Human Resource and Insurance.
I have approval to advertise for request for proposal to renew 5 insurance policies effective May 1st, 2021 through April 30th, 2022. Report number 1, general liability. Number 2, automotive. Number 3, primary excess liability. Number 4, secondary excess liability. Number 5, workman's compensation. RFPs are due by 11 a.m. March 29, 2021 at the clerk's office. And that's all I have, sir.
Okay, thank you.
At least we're consistent on that date the whole way across.
Well, does yours, Trustee, somehow, does yours say 2031? That's what it sounds like.
It's April
It
31.
says April 31. It should be April 30th.
Oh,
There is no April 31st.
okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm sitting across, and I'm not hearing now that thing real well. And did anyone have any other presentations, petitions, or communications? How about did anyone want to take this item off the agenda for any reason? Then can I get a motion to establish this agenda item?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 1 to establish the consent agenda. Again, it's approval to advertise for RFP, request for proposal to renew 5 insurance policies effective May 1st, 2021 through April 30th, 2022 for number 1, general liability, number 2, automobile, number 3, primary excess liability, number 4, secondary excess liability, number 5, workman's compensation. RFPs are due by 11 a.m. March 29th, 2021 at the clerk's office. Again, this is roll call number 1 to establish the consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez voted yes via Zoom. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy voted yes via Zoom. Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries to establish the consent agenda.
Thanks. Can I get someone to make a motion in a second to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call number 2 to approve the consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Zelinski.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez voted yes via Zoom. Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy voted yes via Zoom. Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you very much. Did anyone have any unfinished business? Any new business? Then once again, I need to ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then, so we're going to adjourn the special meeting at 8:15 p.m. Thank you very much again, everybody. And like I said, enjoy your evening.